Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going deep into quantum medicine and radionics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I know what you might be thinking. Frequencies for healing. Sounds a little woo-woo, right?
At first glance.
But trust me on this one. The stuff we're going to be talking about, the potential is just mind-blowing. We're talking influencing crop yields, clearing air pollution, even affecting lottery outcomes.
Really?
And all by using information and, get this, your own consciousness.
That's pretty wild. I'm intrigued.
I knew you would be. So let's just jump right in. So what's quantum medicine all about?
Well, quantum medicine is really about going beyond the physical level, right? Looking at these energy fields of the body from a totally different perspective.
Okay.
It's almost like we're discovering a whole new hidden language, like a network of information that's governing everything.
Like a secret code almost.
Exactly.
So it's like we're just starting to kind of peek behind the curtain and see what's really going on.
Yeah, we're just scratching the surface here.
I see. So it's kind of like quantum computing in a way, sending those uninterceptable messages because it's operating on a completely different level of reality.
Right.
So could our bodies maybe work on a similar principle?
It's a great analogy, and yes, it's a possibility that researchers are really starting to explore. And one of the tools that they're using is this thing called the SE5. It analyzes and balances these subtle energy fields. They call them intrinsic data fields, or IDFs.
IDFs. Okay, got it.
And here's where things get really interesting. The SE5 can actually connect with individuals remotely.
Remotely?
Just using a hair sample or a photograph, even a digital image.
Wait, hold on. A photograph. Now even I'm having trouble wrapping my head around this. How can a photograph have that much information about a person's energy field?
It's all about resonance. Think of it like tuning into a specific radio station. So the SE5 uses a resonating sample, like a photo, to tap into a person's unique energy signature, no matter how far away they are.
No matter how far away.
And I know this idea of action at a distance, it might seem far-fetched.
Yeah, a little bit.
But there's a pretty fascinating historical example. So Galen Hieronymus, a pioneer in radionics, he used this technology to actually predict the vital signs of the Apollo 11 astronauts.
From Earth?
From Earth, just using their photographs.
You're kidding. So from Earth to the moon, they could tap into their energy fields just from a photo.
This is starting to sound like Star Trek.
It is pretty amazing.
But is there any evidence that this kind of technology is being used more widely now? Maybe even by, I don't know, like NASA?
Well, there's a story about NASA potentially using radionics to treat astronauts in space.
Treat astronauts in space?
Yeah, but it's just anecdotal for now.
Okay, enough teasing. Let's bring this back down to earth for a second. How can, someone like me or anyone listening actually experience these benefits of radionics? You mentioned something called a quantum wellness hub.
Yeah, so that's where this all becomes really accessible.
Okay.
The Quantum Wellness Hub, it was developed by Don Paris, and it lets you experience the benefits of radionics without needing years of training.
So no need to, become a radionics master. Nope, not at all.
I like that.
It's a system where you choose these pre-programmed frequencies for things like health, agriculture, even business. And you receive them remotely.
So no fancy equipment or anything.
That's the beauty of it.
That sounds pretty user-friendly. I have to admit, there are some remarkable testimonials. Like the one about the baby recovering from those health issues and that person who won the lottery using this technology. I mean, it's amazing, but...
It does sound a little too good to be true.
Right. So what about the skeptics out there? What would you say to them?
It's good to be skeptical.
Yeah.
I was too at first. But the testimonials, combined with the emerging science behind this, they're worth looking into.
Okay.
There's a growing body of evidence that suggests that information itself might be this powerful force that can actually influence physical reality.
That's a pretty big claim. So how do these frequencies actually work? You mentioned something about scalar electromagnetics earlier. Can you break that down for us non-physicists?
Sure. So think of traditional electromagnetic waves, like, the radio waves that carry music to your car.
Okay.
They get weaker as you move further away.
Right.
Scalar waves, though, they carry information and they maintain their integrity no matter the distance.
Oh, I see.
It's like the difference between hearing a speaker's voice across the room and actually understanding the words that they're saying.
So the energy decreases the further away you get, but the information, the words, stay the same.
Exactly. And that's where guys like Nikola Tesla and Dr. Konstantin Mail come in. They understood the potential of scalar waves to actually transmit information.
Okay.
And the SE5 device uses scalar amplifiers to send these informational frequencies.
So it's not just a machine then?
It's considered consciousness interactive technology.
Consciousness interactive. Hold on. Are you saying our thoughts and intentions can actually play a role in how these frequencies work?
It's a theory. It's like this connection between radionics and healers who can influence energy fields just with their minds.
It sounds like science and ancient practices are kind of converging here.
They are. They're both recognizing that consciousness itself might be this powerful force that can interact with these energy fields.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. To help us understand all of this, you mentioned some real-world examples of this technology in action, something about tomatoes and even air pollution.
Yes, exactly. And that's where it gets really exciting.
Yeah, so these examples are where it gets really exciting. So let's start with the tomato experiment in India. So they were able to preserve these tomatoes for 123 days without refrigeration.
Wait, 123 days? That's over 4 months. How's that even possible?
They used a virtual pyramid energy field.
A virtual pyramid. So they didn't like build a real pyramid around the tomatoes?
No, they sent like the energy pattern of a pyramid to them.
Ah, so it was like a virtual pyramid. I get it.
Exactly. And these tomatoes stayed fresh long after the control group had spoiled.
So that really shows you the power of these informational fields.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So if information can have that kind of impact on, something like a tomato shelf life, what about something even more complex, like air pollution? You mentioned a story about Beijing.
Yeah, this one's pretty incredible. Don Paris, the guy behind all this, he was in Beijing, and as you know, Beijing's known for its smog.
Oh yeah, notorious.
The air quality was just terrible. So he decided to try and do something about it using the SC5.
Okay, so he took the SC5 and pointed it at the smog.
Well, not exactly. He ran a program overnight targeting that air pollution.
Okay, I gotta ask, when he woke up in the morning, was the air clear?
The air was crystal clear. And his colleagues who'd been living in Beijing for years, they were astonished.
Really?
They said they had never seen the air quality change so drastically, especially overnight.
That's wild.
It really is. While it's just one example, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities for environmental applications using this technology,
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got tomatoes staying fresh for months and smog clearing up overnight, all thanks to radionics and these informational fields. It's starting to feel like we're on the verge of some serious breakthroughs here. What other areas have shown promising results?
Well, agriculture is another really exciting field.
Okay.
Don's colleagues in China conducted experiments using the SC5 to improve crop yields and quality. And you know what? They were actually able to produce larger, healthier crops, all while using less pesticides and fertilizers.
That's incredible. We're talking about potentially, addressing some of humanity's biggest challenges here: food security, environmental pollution, human health. This really ties in with that growing interest in sustainability and, the future of our planet.
Yes, it does.
But I have to admit, this is a lot to take in. If information can really have such a powerful effect on, the physical world, what does that mean for us as individuals?
Right.
If we can influence things like crop yields and air quality, what other seemingly impossible things might we be able to achieve?
That's the big question, isn't it? What if information itself is this fundamental force that's actually shaping our reality? Just think about how much information we're bombarded with every day.
Yeah, constantly.
News, social media, even our own thoughts.
All the time.
If those thoughts and that information can impact physical matter, then what are we overlooking?
It's like that old saying, thoughts become things, but on a whole other level.
It is.
It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It really challenges our conventional understanding of reality.
For sure.
It invites us to consider, the hidden potential of information in consciousness.
So for our listeners who are, eager to kind of dive into this and explore it further, what can they do? How can they learn more about radionics and maybe even, try it out for themselves?
Well, Don Paris has made this accessible in a couple of ways. First, there's the Quantum Wellness Hub. It's this subscription service where you can choose from all sorts of pre-programmed frequencies for different purposes. It's a great way to experience the power of radionics firsthand, without needing any specialized training or anything like that.
So no need to go back to school for radionics.
Not at all. And you mentioned there's a special offer for our listeners, right?
That's right. So you can use the code Radionics at checkout and you'll get 50% off your first month.
That's a great deal.
It's a fantastic opportunity to just, Try it out and see what it's all about.
See the effects for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So for just $25, you can kind of take a deep dive into the world of radionics. I like it.
Yeah.
But what about those listeners who are ready to go beyond just, experiencing the frequencies? The people who want to really understand the nuts and bolts of this technology?
Well, for those who are ready to delve deeper, Don Paris also has a really comprehensive online course called Quantum Wellness.
Okay, I've heard of this.
Yeah, and he breaks down the principles of radionics, scalar electromagnetics in a lot of detail.
These are the real science nerds out there.
Exactly. And I believe we have a special bonus for our listeners who are ready to kind of take that next step.
We do. So if you use that same code, Radionics, you'll get free access to Don's course, which normally costs $295. And you can find it at radionic.online.
That's a steal.
It really is an incredible opportunity to really learn the ins and outs of radionics. So before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question. If information can influence physical reality in such profound ways, what other possibilities are out there that we haven't even, imagined yet? What if we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with radionics and these other consciousness interactive technologies?
That is a powerful question to ponder. Maybe the limitations that we perceive are more about our own beliefs than the inherent potential of these technologies.
Yeah.
Imagine if we could open ourselves up to a more expansive view of reality. What could we achieve?
It's almost like an invitation to step outside of our comfort zone.
It is.
To think outside the box.
Yeah, and explore those uncharted territories of consciousness.
And that's what makes this deep dive so compelling, right? Really. It's not just about understanding radionics. It's about expanding our awareness and realizing that we might be far more powerful than we realize.
Exactly. That's what makes this so exciting.
I love that.
Yeah, it really is a paradigm shift. We've been so focused on the material world for centuries that we kind of overlook those subtle realms of energy and information.
Right, like we've been missing a big piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. Radionics offers a glimpse into that hidden dimension. It shows us that reality is far more fluid and interconnected than we thought.
And the possibilities are pretty much endless. If we can use these frequencies to improve crop yields and clear air pollution, what other problems could we solve? Could we even, find new ways to address chronic diseases?
Well, that's a question that a lot of researchers are exploring right now.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that radionics isn't meant to replace conventional medicine.
Right.
It's more of a complementary approach. It addresses the energetic and informational aspects of health and disease.
So it's not about, ditching your meds or ignoring your doctor's advice.
No, not at all.
It's about adding another layer to the healing process.
Exactly. It's about restoring balance and harmony within the body's energy systems.
I see. So it's more about supporting the body's natural ability to heal itself.
Precisely. It aligns with that growing field of integrative medicine, which recognizes the interconnectedness of, mind, body, and spirit.
So it's not about picking sides. It's about finding those points of connection, right? Where those two worlds kind of come together.
Exactly. It's a reminder that the universe operates on principles that might go beyond our current scientific understanding.
And radionics gives us a way to kind of peek into those deeper levels of reality.
It does. It invites us to explore that interconnectedness of everything.
And that's really what the deep dive is all about, right? Encouraging our listeners to question their assumptions, dive into these new ideas, and discover that the world is far more expansive and mysterious than we often think.
It is. The more we question, the more we learn. And who knows? Maybe the greatest discoveries are yet to come.
I love that. Well, a huge thank you to our expert for joining us today and sharing these insightful perspectives.
It's been my pleasure. I think these conversations are so important for expanding our collective awareness and realizing the potential that we all have within us.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of radionics. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. Until next time.